Hey, what's up? We're going to talk about the law of attraction, and I got some people joining me because we want to figure this out. I think it's all about constantly working on figuring out these type of things. So as I'm inviting somebody that I met recently, and Corona's going to be joining us later. So the law of attraction, what a beautiful thing. There's many laws to the universe, but if you want to manifest stuff, I think it's important that you grasp the law of attraction.
Hello.
There we are. We made it.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm outside. I just got a massage. I'm super relaxed.
Nice. I
Yeah,
didn't
it
I
was
didn't know if you're massage or getting a massage. I was thinking you're getting one, doing one.
no getting one. I get one once a month and it was time.
So
It's
this is gonna
good.
sound a little creepy, but I was when I met you, I was gonna say that to you.
What's
You need
that?
a massage. I was
I
gonna say you need a massage.
am I tense?
Not ten. You had a particular spot that you needed taken care of.
Yeah,
And I
there's
didn't say it
many.
because that would have been creepy. But now saying it in front of everybody, it's less creepy.
Yeah,
So,
no. With the kids and just everything going on in my life, I feel like I need one every day.
for sure, for sure. So,
Mhm.
go ahead and tell I know you don't have much time, but go ahead and tell the audience a little about yourself.
Me? I just saw a friend of mine pop on, Daniel. Hey. He knows a lot about me. Well, I am a massage therapist. I have been in the healing industry for like 13 years now, and I'm kind of transitioning to be more of a life coach. I'm trying to get clarity more on that, like how I'm going to approach that and what I'm going to do. Really, I think it's more like mind, body, soul therapy. Um, so with that, I'm just finishing up some school stuff. I'm a mother of two and just full of activities in life. And, that's about it, really. I just try to keep things simple as much as I can for the most part.
So, so as far as manifesting things and with the law of attraction, in your
Yeah.
opinion, how important is it not just like believing something, thinking about it, but how important is it getting your seven chakras involved or your body?
Yeah, because we can sit there and think about a situation for a long time, but until we um, connect it to our body, I don't think it's going to give us much meaning. So by connecting, I feel like it'll just help us define more meaning and the purpose of it. And also action. Like action is huge. I feel like energetically within our chakras, we can do healing to help open and close or clear our chakras. That action, because it's already existing, it's there, effort and the actions to make it. I think that's the big deal of actually manifesting what it is you're trying to manifest, if that makes sense.
So I want to share a story real quick, and then of how I was able to manifest something and let go, and then I want you to an example of some ways that people in the audience can get their body involved or some ideas about things. So
Okay.
recently I did a 12-second video, and content's very easy for me, but I did a 12-second video that took me like last 10 years to manifest, but I was focused on it for the last four months. And it was, do you ever see the picture of the little white boy and the little black toddlers running towards each other and hugging each other?
On your page?
Yeah, but
Or
have you ever seen that before, that viral video?
I don't think so.
It was a viral video
Okay.
that went. I wanted to remake that with me and a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, oh, that'd be easy, you just have to ask. But it was a lot of letting go for me to get to the point. So months before that, I was always asking. Every time I met a police officer, and one time the police officer said yes, and then all of a sudden I'm like lightly stalking them in the coffee shop, and then all of a sudden they just take off after they had said yes. But they have to get approval and stuff that I didn't know about, but I knew that they just couldn't do anything. So
Yeah.
I ended up buying a cup of coffee for this doctor. That's this police officer that is a canine. And
Trainer.
my heart was beating. My heart. Corona, we're in the middle of a story. We're in the middle of a story.
Okay.
Join us in.
I'm tuning in. Definitely. I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
My heart was beating like I took a bat away from a 300-pound dude with tattoos on his face before, and my heart rate didn't even go up. And my heart rate was beating like a lion was chasing after me, just buying a cup of coffee, because my ego was like, well, I rarely have problems with police officers. I shouldn't have to do this situation. Why am I buying him a cup of coffee? A lot of those things are going in there. So I let go of that. And then I ended up saying hi to him a couple days. And then on the day that I manifested the video, a police officer just started talking to me online, like casual conversation. And that never happened before. With somebody that I had never, a police officer I had never met. And it was based on me letting go. And then I went in the back, went to one table, went to another table, and then he was in another chair that was my third option. And then I was like, okay, I guess this is supposed to happen. And I sat next to him and then just asked him. And then his sergeant happened to be in the parking lot. And he took off right when I was going out there, and I stopped him and got approval. And I even had the sergeant holding the camera.
You're out here. Hold this.
Yeah, hold on.
You had the whole camera crew.
Yeah, because when I let go, it's like I'm a charming motherfucker.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can hold on to it just like other people. Sometimes I'm like Will Smith. I want to smack the shit out of people.
Will Smith, my God, that was so funny because he is a comedian. He was always cracking jokes. He couldn't take a joke this time. I think,
Sure.
Yeah, I think that was Jada. She really traumatized that poor man.
And that was really problematic, right? Because once we start taking things personal, like there's a really fine line.
Yeah.
And it's like you gotta define when the right time and the right place is to throw these jokes out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that he could have handled it way different. I don't know. I feel like Jada did worse, to him, and poor guy. I don't know. I think he was just put on the spot. But yeah, back to your story. So basically when you were energetically ready to let go of that problem, that issue you had interacting or talking to a cop, you were able to manifest what you needed to manifest, right? You got your video, you got everything done. Once you got out of that feeling of not even wanting to conversate with this cop, it seems like you didn't want to have that interaction. So that's why it was a difficult situation, or it was really difficult for you to even manifest. But it sounds like you shifted. And so once you did that, the universe was like, oh, well, here, this is what, it did what it needed to do for you, right?
Correct. And an interesting thing is when I'm stopped by police officers, or when I'm trying to avoid something happening to somebody else, I've been able to let go of that for a while.
Yeah.
Like I've been, but just meeting him in general, like I have authority issues, so I'm not just gonna like I don't like to bow to anybody, and I don't like people bowing to me either.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and but also I'm from the One Love tribe, which is me and everybody on this planet.
Yeah.
So they're my brothers. So there's that division. That's the conflict that I had.
Yeah. Yeah,
Was
and I
the
don't think
the
I don't think
separation.
yeah. And that's the thing, that's not coming from you. I think that's just the system. That's how the system has put themselves out there like that. And I think a lot of people could agree with you. You wouldn't want to really be one love with people that are killing and, you know, causing problems and not really protecting the peace and doing other things, you know, that are going on. So I think the more aware you are, the more conscious and the more you're able to define, because I feel like there's still good cops. Still, you know, they have good intentions, I think, and they're serving the community, and there's a person and a reason, a purpose and a reason for them. But but yeah, that's a tough one to not want to interact with something that is not that you're against. And then, you know, so how was the video? What was it about?
So there's a video that went viral during early COVID of a African American toddler and a white toddler running towards each other. My friend, and hugging each other. So
Yeah.
I did a video with them side by side
Mm-hmm.
of me running towards him, and we had the kids giggling as I'm going to run up to hug him.
Aw.
So and, yeah, and it was a place, and I know that I'm gonna get pushback from both sides, but also I know like I don't look for people to agree with me. I'm on my path,
Yeah.
and whether I have to embrace drawing in more people or I have to like have division with everybody, my path is my path.
Yep. And that's what I was gonna say. Law of attraction. I'm not sure how you'd want me to explain, but I feel like with law of attraction, it's like law of gravity. It exists. Nobody can change anything about it. It's there. So it's up to you whether you want to work with it or have it serve you in a really good way. So law of attraction, it's like we're doing it now. We're doing it every day, regardless if we're aware of it or not. So if we're bringing awareness to it and we're able to manipulate it, like just in a good way, you know, like serve you for a higher purpose or a higher thing, it's there. So once you learn how to use it, it can benefit you in a lot of ways, I feel.
It's very easy for us to forget that we're vibrational beings living in a vibrational like system, right? Everything has a vibration.
Yeah.
And it's easy for us to get lost in that and forget that, but it's ultimately it's what do you do with your energy? Are you going to place it in something positive that's going to reap and attract something positive even though you might not see it as such?
Yeah.
Learning to let go comes in handy, you know, when you're dealing with that type of energy.
That's
But
true.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, letting go is definitely a huge thing too, because I feel like in manifestation or the law of attraction, once you're realizing what it is you're trying to manifest, it might not be the level of energy or frequency you have or the people around you have. So you have to be really open to changing that and letting go of certain things and stuff so that you create that space to raise your frequency and to reach to that level that you're wanting. What you did, I think, for you, Bob, I think it was a blockage, not a blockage, but something that you had to deal with to um not have that, probably like that. I don't know what you were dealing with, but that separation or hatred against the cops, I think, maybe. And so
Yeah, yeah.
it served you a lot more because you're able to release that from your heart, from you, from your being, because that's not you. You're one love. You're wanting to set an example to your community and to people and children that there are people that can love even from differences. You know, he's a cop, but you can still have that love for him, because at the end of the day, he is still human. And you know, so I think that was good for you to get rid of.
For sure. And also I have a protocol that I go by when, like, obviously when I'm outside of the coffee shop and I'm approached by a police officer that
Yeah.
I created, and I want to get this in front of the right people.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, it's so simple and it will save lives. But I had to let go of that peace of mind, that to see them as the enemy,
Mm-hmm.
not just my thoughts, not just in my words, but in my body,
Yeah.
in my cells, in order to open up those doors. And sometimes
Yeah.
I'm there, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm like Will Smith and want to smack the shit out of somebody. Sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. That can get you in trouble. I learned that. I put my hands on a couple people, and it wasn't the best. It didn't. Yeah, it made things a lot worse. It put me in more trouble. So I think what you were doing, you were establishing self-control there. That's really good. I think if we all learned how to work on controlling our emotions and having more self-control, our behavior can come out differently. So
I would, I know I just met you, but I would like to, like, kind of shift what you said a little, harness our emotions and point them in the right directions.
yeah.
Controlling our emotion, we don't, because I don't think we ultimately want to control our emotions.
Yeah.
Um,
Just the
because I think,
reaction.
yeah, the reaction. I think this stuff. People think, oh, Chris Rock said this, and Will Smith responded like this. I think this stuff slowly comes together, and the Hollywood thing where they're on top of the world. Will Smith's worth $400 million. He's got everything. He's always got that smile on his face. But there's a lot of shit that's bottled up in him,
Mm-hmm.
even before this stuff. I remember seeing Britney Spears, and the reason why I'm bringing this and how this does with the law of attraction, I remember seeing Britney Spears. I called Britney Spears and I called Miley Cyrus snapping years before they snapped.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware when I called these as I was, because I just, like, saw them, and you remember when you're a kid and you, I think boys did this more than women, but you'd rip apart a baseball
Mm-hmm.
and then go all that. The I saw, like, the rubber band part. I saw Britney Spears as that,
Yeah.
bottling up all that. And obviously they're manifesting, and you're manifesting something on Hollywood. But us looking up to those people, if you're a fan of Will Smith, you might be taking in, and I'm talking before we knew about what happened the other day. You're taking in a lot of his energy, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to, like, look. I mean, it's easy to look at me and like oh, that motherfucker's crazy. But if you look at somebody like Will Smith, you're like, oh, this guy's prominent. He's got everything that he needs, but you don't see what's below the surface. And I'm not thinking he's got
Yeah.
deep down demonic, but how's his energy influencing a lot of different people all over the world?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like he's not handling his emotions really well, and that's what I'm thinking, like, before, because what he had gone through with his wife, her cheating and all that. I think a lot of his manhood is kind of crushed, and I'm not saying he's not a good man, but I feel like in his situation, and I think more of him reacting was because of her, because she's crushed him, you know, and he had to, like, prove a point, like he can go and smack this guy for his wife. But realistically, like, that's not how you want to handle it, because now he's probably gonna have a lawsuit, you know. I mean, it gets you in trouble when you put your hands on people. So I don't know. It's kind of sad though, because he was, like, crying too. I didn't see the whole thing, but, like, after, when he was his speech, like, he was crying, and you can tell, like, he's suffering, like he's not dealing with, something's not right. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it's sad. But I
And
think,
I'm sure. Go ahead.
good.
I would I would guess that we all have multiple personalities. So you probably couldn't logically explain. I mean, you could logically explain to like part of him, but the Will Smith that did that on that day, everything seemed perfectly aligned and rational. Kids are good at doing this. Like they're like, I'm not like you're saying, quit being bad. I'm not being bad now.
Yeah,
They'll all of a sudden not being bad. We do that as adults in different ways, and what we do is our shadow self helps us create a lot of different avatars and personalities all over the place,
true.
which they would what they would call bipolar or multi personalities. But we all have it. We're all on the spectrum for multi personalities. And me doing impersonations, I'm more aware of that than the average person.
Yeah,
Because I have like me personally, I don't like to read poetry, but I have like an avatar that reads poetry
yeah,
because I'm more comfortable him doing it, but I'm not comfortable doing it. I sing as Bob Marley, but I don't consider myself a singer.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it's and and yes, it sounds complicated to people, but we're a lot like the more that you're stuffed in your box and you're repressed, this shit's happening, but we're a lot of people aren't aware of it.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you, and I want to say before you can go, you can stay as long as you want, but
Yeah.
how does what we're talking in that disconnect work in the law of attraction?
How does the disconnect work, or how does
Not
connecting
the
to your
disconnect,
body?
but what we're talking about, like what the how's this conflict pushing against? Because obviously Will Smith's manifesting a lot more things than me, but also he has a different life.
Well, for him, I feel like he's manifesting what he wanted. It's not necessarily what you wanted. You have to manifest what you want. But if you're feeling like he has if there's certain things that he has that you would like to manifest, I mean, yeah, you could always look up to someone's motivation, but I don't, as far as idolizing and all that stuff, I don't look at celebrities like that. I don't they're not like God to me, so I'm always staying connected with the divine and me and my person and who I am, on a daily, rather than looking up to what celebrities and stuff are doing. But I root to the ones that are giving back and making huge impacts to society and all that stuff, that are doing good things for the universe and everything. I think that's amazing. Ideally, I feel like that's where their money and all that should be going towards. But then there's a lot of like really selfish, unhappy people manifesting a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like manifestation, it's already happening regardless of who you are, where you're from, what's going on. But when you connect to, because manifestation is like more your mind, like your thoughts, your thinking, what you want, your future, your past, like it's so mind. But when you can meditate and connect it to your body and connect it to your soul and connect it to who you are, then I think it can manifest a lot quicker, because you're able to, it's tangible. You're connecting to like how, like you, and how you're able to manifest it, because there's layers of it. There's, for me, I guess I could do an example. um I'm always manifesting. Like honestly, if there's something that I really want, because I'm so good at it, I can really tap into it really fast and manifest it. I actually am going to an event right now that I manifested just the other day, because I've been going to school and I've been studying a lot, and all that good stuff. And I'm wrapping things up, and so I'm creating more time. I have my schedule's opening up, and I was just like thinking, like, you know what, I'm ready to start working. And one of my guy friends, is doing an event and has like this huge like building and wants to add a massage therapy. Like the universe is like, here, you already have a place, a person, marketing, like just it worked out so perfectly. Like I'm just gonna go and start marketing, like set up my massage table and do mini massages and get that going because I need it, you know.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
There was a, and also where like Chris Rock, the situation of his side, and I don't want to beat a dead horse on hers, but people got to acknowledge that he was manifesting something also.
Mm-hmm.
That he probably said, he's like, oh, I got these concerts. How am I going to sell out these concerts? Type thing. He was probably asking something like that.
Yeah.
And it and I'm not saying anytime that somebody's murdered and they're manifesting and everything like that. I'm telling people to be like conscious about what you're putting out in the world and how you're going to do it. You want to do it in the most positive, resourceful way. I don't want to just I don't want to. It's like, how am I? Like, I'm not going to say how to like how am I going to get all my videos seen? The option's not me dying a harmful death. I don't put any energy towards that.
Right.
But I mean, to sell out some concert, I would have taken a slap on stage from Will Smith to sell concerts and get attention,
he,
100%.
he probably doesn't need a concert anymore. Will Smith's gonna have to pay him some money, some payoff, get some money from that incident. That's a lawsuit, right? I'm sure he's gonna get sued.
I don't know if he's gonna do that, and I don't think Chris Rock needs that or
yeah, would do that.
Yeah. I mean, he would probably. I mean, yeah, he's not necessarily going out on that. I mean, if there is some vengeful thing to a certain extent, but what I'm saying is a lot of times people want something and they take the short route, and then there's it's a duality that, oh, you were looking to be a martyr in some way, I was looking to murder somebody, and then those two things come together. So there's some stuff we saw but were unknown, but there's a lot of invisible stuff that happened there, whether it was real or not real.
Yeah, I know. At first, I was like, I thought it was staged. I didn't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, threw me off.
For sure. So are you wrapping up pretty soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the road. I gotta go to this event. I had a really great time speaking with you. Thanks for having me. I didn't get to meet you. Jake Corona. What's your first name?
I hope we can reconnect again. I'm in a really trafficky area. I was expecting to go home, but universe said not right now. So, but I hope you can join us again on another live. I think everything that you're saying has a lot of value to it, and it'd be wonderful to have you and you know, share this and express this worldwide even.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Let me know. I'm definitely open and available. Thank you. I appreciate that.
For sure. Thank you very much.
Yes. Safe travels.
All right. We'll stay in touch. I'll see you guys soon. Have a beautiful day.
Possibly see you Sunday. Possibly see you Sunday at Jerome's thing.
Oh, is it the contest? I mean, not contest, the concert or the sound bowl one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna try my best to make it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I'm not 100% either, so we'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. What is up?
Well, that was wonderful. I heard you were talking about the remake of that kid with the cop incident. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and I am this way with a lot of things, even though like I'm not carrying those in my mind on a consistent basis. But I see how I let go of stuff, and sometimes like in like years, like the key places that I let go of stuff to just like manifest stuff and open it, because I can let go of it in 5 minutes or 20 years, and I feel that not always letting go at the right time, but getting better and better of letting go at the right time.
Yeah, it's sometimes we have to tune in to not asking too much why certain things are happening in the way that they do, because I think it's easy for us to fall into that questioning, and just it really takes us to dark places, because if you can't grasp just and accept something that's happening for a bigger reason, that's when you get stuck. um I don't know, these times that I'm dealing with, I'm sometimes appalled, and I'm shocked at how universe has really aligned with my higher purpose and a lot of the things that I believe in and I work towards on a daily, you know. But I think it's absolutely wonderful that she was able to join us today, and just share some of her testimony, and how, you know, she tries to basically just trust in it.
For sure. So the woman that I want to focus on for today for a little bit is Esther Hicks from Abraham Hicks. And it's also the last day of Women's History Month. And do you ever know the original coding, the binary coding, zeros and ones?
I think I've came across it, but
Yeah. So ones would be your thoughts producing things. Zeros would be holding space. Ones, masculine energy. Zeros, feminine energy. 1 0 1 0 0 0 1 1 1 1. I don't understand that in the coding place, but I understand it in having the masculine energy. I was explaining somebody today in a coffee shop that asked me if I meditate each day because they've seen me for a while. But and I've shared this a lot. Like we have buildings in San Diego, and because we have a lot of earthquakes here, also in LA, because we have a lot of earthquakes here, the buildings have feminine energy. So if there's an earthquake, if it was just masculine energy, it'd topple over when there's an earthquake. But it has the feminine energy. And our bodies are like that. If you want to explain from a core level of why there's a lot of pain in your body, and why children, not just because they're younger, which is a big part of it, I'm not going to leave that out of there, why children don't have a lot of pain. Because of the way that they move. When's the last time that you looked up at the sky? Or for most adults, children do it all the time. We have to, and the people for us that do it, it's takes a lot of resistance and effort to get to that point to do it. But once we do it, we're better than most. But there's some people that just they just think of that as just a total bad thing. So Abraham Hicks, Jerry, which was more of the ones, which is her husband, who's passed on, was more of the one. And he would ask a lot of questions and asked a lot of questions. The first time that they met a channeler, before she was doing it, they met a channeler. Jerry had questions that he had since he was 8 years old, that he had in a book that he asked the channeler. Esther never really asked a lot of those questions, because I think that's more, even though we're a binary individual, but I think it's more not wanting to know all the details and fixing it and everything, and just receiving and knowing your role and getting out of the way and being more selfless. I think that's more of a feminine energy. So the balance of the 0 1 0 1 0 1 is that masculine energy with that feminine energy that keeps a building, that has to have that structure of masculine energy to grow, and there has to be foundation that gets to the first point. And a lot of times in society, people are trying to build the 10th floor before they've dug below the surface and built the foundation, built the first floor, second floor, all the way up. So and ask as it is given, Esther Hicks was one of the one that, and the reason why I'm talking about the feminine energy and the masculine energy, so we're influenced by it, because I think it's so important that us as icons, sometimes you just have to blank your mind and just get out of the way and be selfless. Sometimes if you want to create something great in the world, you got to be a little selfish. And you got to say, I'm the person that's going to do this. Or I'm the person that's going to attract the people and bring the people together. So as a channel, what you're doing is you're tapping into information in the universe from great leaders from the past, or you're tapping into new information, or you're tapping into applied wisdom. Wisdom is applied knowledge in the right situation. So you're tapping into wisdom that applies in the situation. And it's not just in your words, it's not just in your thoughts, it's in your body. Me manifesting that whole thing, like 2-3 months ago, I got, my heart was beating out of my chest, like not like literally beating out of my freaking chest, because I was just buying a cup of coffee for a police officer. If I would have still been in that energy, even though this guy was totally nice as fuck, I wouldn't have been able to manifest it, because he's like, then he's feeling fear and he doesn't know why he's feeling fear. So when
It's
we're talking
vibrational, right? You were in fear, and that was generating fear in him as well. It's like
correct,
ripples. It's like water. When you touch water, there's ripples, and it just kind of continues infinitely until it dies out.
and let alone when you're in real conflict situations, that the mirror thing, this one mirror, two mirrors, it's
The
infinity amount. When
infinite.
you're in conflict, like I'm just chilling in there, and he's probably not feeling threatened. He's probably feeling fear. That just makes him not want to do that video. And also, when I say, you ever see the video of the white dude and the black dude? When you're calm, it doesn't trigger. But when you say when you all of a sudden say the white dude and the black dude, like toddlers, that triggers you for some reason.
Being in Zen, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. And even if you're as calm as fuck, that can still trigger people. Just being able to say that, or it's like, oh, you say black kid, it's
Do you
like, why
think
didn't
that's
you say
attributed to some people just being so used to there being chaos that when there's something that's calm or calm energy, they're like, something's not right here, let me cause chaos?
Well, it's that, but also it's what are you under the influence of? Because if you're in like under and I'm not talking about necessarily demonic energy, but if you're under the influence of, is like, motherfucker, if like anybody like the alpha dog, like in the Will Smith situation, and I want to bring this back full circle. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it now, but in the Will Smith situation, which one of the Will Smith or Chris Rock, which of them that was the alpha?
I think in that situation, probably Chris Rock.
See, most people would think that Will was being the alpha.
No, I
and,
think he
and,
was
and
uncontrolled at that moment and
how
beyond.
about old school alpha? Like what he was old school alpha, and somebody just let, like, I don't know if I could have let somebody come up on stage and just like hit me.
I think I probably would have lost it low key.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you
And
just
just be
gonna
able to
slap
do
me?
that
Like what?
and do a joke. Yeah, yeah. That's alpha. That's alpha compassionate. As far as or we could go new school alpha, and everything evolves in the universe. Everything evolves in the universe. How come an alpha can't evolve? Because
They think
because
they're already evolved. It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
ego.
There's this police officer that is very successful online, African American. I think he's retired, and he was talking about, he has a Blue Lives Matter flag from his car, and he has a big red truck, and somebody flipped him off, and he talks about how he went into and he's talking about it, and he has a big audience, and I can imagine if I would have gotten a big audience early on, there's no unringing some of the stuff that I've done, but if I would have had a big audience earlier, I could have said, and some people would still have the big audience and still be able to let go, and maybe, and I hope I would have been that one, but I'm open to the fact that I could have been a bigger asshole. never would have met Mickey. Just like never would have been a Bob Marley impersonator. Like lots of things that I love, that I find value, and I would have found different stuff. But I think some of these people, you just like see the edge that they have to them, and I don't think it's a good edge. But he goes in the thing, and he's like, oh, I was gonna video, and he's thinking he's taking the high road, and he's like, oh, he said he had progress, because he said, yeah, in the back I would have like beat this guy up for flipping me off because of the Blue Lives Matter flag. And I'm fine. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, blue lives matter. But what is he, when I have one love on my car, what energy am I drawing in? And when he has blue lives matter, like what energy is he drawing in? Like he's probably wanting somebody to do that. And I'm not trying to blame him or shame him or anything like that. He's probably drawing in that energy. And there's a police officer, I'm sorry, a retired police officer or police officer. So he knows like people having stuff and all of a sudden being in situations and then fucking their lives up. And he's even talking about, he's like, yeah, he goes, I'm 240 pounds, I'm 6'4" and everything. I could have totally beat this guy up. And he goes and possibly shot him. And like part of me wanted to do that and everything. And I'm real raw and transparent. So I love that he was to that point. But that's not alpha to me. Chasing around a guy in a place with a video camera. And I don't condone what the other guy did either. And trust me, on a date, like on a daily basis, I come across people that, even though a lot of times I come across people that I want to give these hands to for a moment, but also I don't want to like ultimately hurt somebody real bad. I'm just not looking for that. If I'm gonna hurt somebody bad, it's gonna be somebody like that's picking on a homeless person. It's gonna be not even hurting them bad, just like hurting them a little. Like it's gonna be somebody that like really did something really bad. And a lot of times when I'm around that stuff, it's like, okay, I'm gonna like not even pick a side. My side is the one love side, and I go peace first. Peace first, hand second. Because just the way that he talked about it, and I'm not going to point out who it is and everything, but the way that he talked about it, and this is a guy that has some good information, and he has a perspective that I enjoy a lot of times. But then I look at all the comments that people have, and people that were seeing after that energy he's put into the universe, and it's like, he's like, oh yeah, it's like, these people need to learn a lesson. You need to teach them a lesson type stuff. And I was like, okay, what ripples are being created by that energy? I know a lot of comedians were saying that occasionally people in the audience come on stage and slap one of the comedians, and they feel that because Will Smith did it, it's going to happen more. And I don't know if I necessarily believe that. But also, if that is possible, that sucks. So, one of the things with the law of attraction, we think about it, we ask for it. That's step one, just like kind of stepping and asking for it. Then step two is aligning with it, becoming the person that you need to become. Like when I started on this path of getting on social media, I was short hair, I was a little tighter, I was more based in etiquette of things. I was all positive.
Harvard model.
Very judgmental. I wasn't necessarily, I was Harvard-ish model for sure. And I was like in that realm, and I learned from people, from critics judging me and everything, but also I didn't bottle up my shit and just like, oh, I want to make sure that I do stuff, that I get approval and everything. I was like, okay, how can I remain raw and still be able to reach people or become more raw? And that's why a lot of times that of things I do and different ways that I find, and like I'm very, very creative in that space of how because my number one value is freedom. So we and I love that Abraham Hicks, they got it so simple, is we ask, we align, and then we receive. Because I almost didn't receive that stuff with that police officer, but also I wasn't going to give up, so it was going to happen at some point.
3-step process.
3-step process, and the aligning is in your thoughts and in your behaviors
In
and
the intentions, it can be written out or not.
oh yeah, for sure. And it's happening whether you believe it or not, or you're aware of it or not.
Exactly.
So
And manifestations again. Sometimes it might not look like what we want it to look like, but there's a bigger reason and or purpose behind it.
and saying fucking no to shit that doesn't feed your soul. Okay, cool.
Them boundaries, that's when them boundaries come in handy.
Yeah, it's like awesome. I fucking manifested. Like I grew up in a household and Trish, I grew up in a great household, privileged and everything, but I grew up in a household that mostly was a house of no. So a lot of times I manifest what I don't want. But I was also put with the gift of being able to say no. Got that discipline from my dad. So I was able to say no to a lot of it, and I still am able to do it. But the goal is to be able to hit these 3 steps and just like attract yes, things that you want to get involved in. Because over the time since I've been on social media, and it was one of a business partner that I had long, you don't know him, but long before for that, who totally screwed me over. But first time I met him, he goes, in order to do what you need to do, you're going to have to be able to turn positives into positives and negatives into uber positives. And I don't know if he ever showed me how to do it, but that started a lot of different things. And it's like a lot of like I talk about it on everything is like that bullshit, that bullshit that you get served. It's manure, and I wasn't willing early on to take in that bullshit and that manure. And if you see and I hate to harp on this, but the Will Smith situation, that's a situation. Like, trust me, Will Smith knows how to deal with adversity. There's no way you get to his level without dealing with adversity. No fucking way. But also,
I 100% agree with you on that one.
Yeah. There's so I'm and I don't think it's about all of us getting better at dealing with privilege, and because we all have privilege and adversity, it's all get of us getting better at dealing with it. Because Will Smith could be better than the Dalai Lama with dealing with adversity, but also he could benefit by being better at dealing with adversity for growth. Same with me, same with Corona, same with anybody that's listening. Because the more we get better at dealing with adversity and our privilege, away from entitlement, because when adversity and privilege become a problem is when you're entitled. But when you just embrace like, oh, I just got dealt a bullshit sandwich today. Okay, what's the meaning here? Oh, this fucking sucks. That person gave me a fucking curveball, fucking losing my job and everything, but I fucking don't want this to happen again, or I don't want this to happen often, so I'm gonna fucking go within and really feel into this. Asking, and then as that whatever happened there opens up, being able to make the right moves, take the right action, not pushing too hard, not pushing too soft, but the right amount of action to manifest and receive what we ultimately want in life. And if it's not right, being able to sit and wait until it shows up how we want it for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
That's beautiful. Learning how to let go when the time is right is essential. Woo!
I believe like this, that even though it's been a lot of years of letting go in this space, but even like at the right times when I would possibly be in danger, or somebody I know was in danger, or random strangers, stopping stuff with them and police, like been able to do that for a while. I believe that when it's crucial, I always let go at the right time. When it's like really crucial, life or death, and just being able to get into the space and reaching out, because I want to put together a task force. And that was one of the conversations we have with that other person that comes into the place. Now I have that video to show her. The lady that does a lot of outreach for police officers, that comes into the coffee shop, that's part of the Hispanic chamber. I'm going to show her that video. And that video
That's
is like
awesome.
that video is like a Trojan horse.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Because there's probably a lot of people that have more status than me. There's a lot of people that have a lot of other things, but somebody can just go in there for one point, not asking for money or not asking anyone for value, and getting in front of some police officers, some lawyers, some judges. I believe I'm the best. I don't expect anybody outside of me to believe that, but I believe I'm the best. And I expect you to believe you're the best in showing up in your life in different ones. I expect that 100%, but also I expect you to do the necessary work to align with whatever you need to align with to be that best. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I like that we're more sensitive and softer, but I'm not an outrageous organization guy.
I feel like for me, my struggle is that I feel discouraged when I don't see results fast. But long haul, they fucking show up.
But I think that comes down to how fast we're willing to let go. Because ultimately, you saw in the last 2 months, like a lot of changes happen for you.
And you know what? And I continue to allow universe to send me more, and I'm open to receiving that too.
So I want to end with this really quick, and this is a cool thing I heard on the Abraham Hicks book, which will be down in the link below. So Esther worked through Abraham, came up with this to-do list for her. So you have your regular to-do list, and then you have the things that you do, and then the things that the universe does. Do you hear that? So
say it one more time.
So the things that you do, and then the things that the universe does on your to-do list.
Wow.
Because a lot of times, and I think it's ego that would like effort, I'm doing this, I'm checking off this stuff. And a lot of times we have a lot of stuff, unresolved things, and we feel like we're doing stuff because a lot of this stuff happens very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
So in this realm, and that's what they teach you in a lot of the religions and a lot of the spiritual practices, is to be grateful and not, and it's one of the resistances I have to like some of the Christians of how they apply certain things, because their view of God or Jesus seems like an insecure, that he wants credit for everything. I think it's important that we don't take credit for everything, because we're grateful. It's like, oh, like even though like I manifested this good and bad, but being unattached to it and knowing that there's so much things that are involved in bringing this, that I don't believe there's any self-made men or women, because a lot of these self-made men have like Steve Jobs, they say self-made men. He had Apple was the biggest company with the most employees.
I have a problem accepting that people are self-made because they stand on the shoulders of others.
Yeah, for sure. Stand on the shoulders of others, and also like they have like a lot of people, like Steve Jobs never invented anything. Was he a game changer and had a powerful role? 100%. But but I think it's humility. Like even if you are doing a lot of stuff, and I don't want you to be fake, but being authentic with that, like being grateful, like, oh, this is awesome. This showed up. Like part of me didn't like that I had to have, and obviously I'd want to use a real police officer to do it. Like I'm like that's not that's not impressive. I mean, you could do like a parody funny thing with a fake police officer and it worked just as well. But for this, I had to have a real police officer, and that bothered me. I'm like that with a lot of shit, like the Walmart video. I didn't like that I had to get a lot of other people involved, but also that's why, like, I bought a couple cameras and they weren't working, and I knew that it was the universe saying no, like, have your brother help you. What's up, Jerome? I don't know how much time we have left. Yeah, I don't think we have
Cutting it short to the end here.
Yeah. I don't know how much time we have left.
But he could join. I think it'd be nice to hear.
Might as well invite him.
Yeah, I wanted to hear about the new breathing technique that you picked up with Jerome. If you don't mind to share that with our audience and with me.
Jerome, come on, Jerome. I don't know if he can.
He should come on so he can tell us about his event coming up, Singing Bowls. That's pretty dope. There we go.
So Jerome, I don't know what's going to cut off. This only goes for an hour. It's going to be cutting off at any point, so I want to go fast.
Okay.
So, I wanted to we're talking about the law of attraction. Okay. What are ways to get your body involved in channeling the law of attraction?
Okay. Look, now I'll combine that with the breath. Okay. Whatever it is you're trying to attract, if you're not strong for attracting it, then you will notice it in your breathing. If you just relax and just allow the experience of being breathed, just by yourself, don't even think about anything, just allow the felt sense of being breathed, notice how you breathe. Then think about the thing that you're wanting to manifest, attract, or be able to do. And when you think about it and feel all the way into it, see if the body tightens up. See if the breathing gets restricted, feels labored or forced. That's letting you know you're pinching off from the natural flow of that creative energy flowing forward. Now to correct that is to not do nothing, just to relax and open and allow the felt sense of being breathed to arise, allow the body to relax in such a way that when you do think about yourself being in a situation, doing the thing you want to do, there's no resistance or tension. And now you're embodying the vibration to be in alignment with it. The body, the nervous system, your breathing, your intuitive abilities know when they'll let you know if there's a resistance or tension to what it is that you're trying to do. And so the breathing exercise, the awareness of where we're pinching off from spirit through the breath or tension in the body. There you go.
Awesome. And also, can you share, send the link to me and I'll put it on this for your breathing technique video that you offered to share with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, send that link over to me and then I'll put it at the bottom of this because Corona also wanted to know about it too.
Yeah, I'll do that.
That helped. I mean, you didn't respond to my message, but that helped a lot.
I was just moving around and then I forgot to.
No, I'm messing with you. You know how many messages I send out and people don't respond? I've gotten so used to it.
I tend to leave him on red too, so don't feel bad.
Oh.
Yeah. I forget about it too. I had my roommate give me $100 that I let her borrow, and I said I totally had forgotten.
Yeah.
So the fingers of grounding this and the tongue at the roof of your mouth, game changing for me. Game
Oh, you
changing.
can feel the difference, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's
I
good.
tend to put